Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's episode of Lewis Presents. Well, I'm here on the corner of Southwell Grove, here in Leytonstone, in the East End of London. And you might think this is just a very quiet road, nothing major happens here, nothing has probably ever gone on. Well, you'd be wrong in thinking that. Because just over 100 years ago, on August the 17th, 1915, an L-10 airship was flying above the skies of London. It was a Zeppelin, commanded by a Captain Wenck. London was into its first year of World War I. London had experienced a few Zeppelin raids, but this was the night of the greatest Zeppelin raid of them all, the one that caused immense damage. Wenck gave the order at 10:32 in the evening. When he was looking down, he looked and he thought it was the River Thames. They started unleashing bombs, high explosive and incendiary bombs. And when it landed on the areas below, it wasn't Blackfriars or Tower Bridge as he claimed he was bombing. He was actually in Hoe Street, Lloyd Park, Walthamstow, and then the attack moved further into Leyton. They started hitting Farmer Road, Leabridge Road Almshouses, the Leabridge Road tram depot got hit. Leyton Midland train station took a direct and 4 people were killed. And then the attack moved further down Leyton, working its way towards Leytonstone. Albert Road, Claude Road, Murchison Road all took hits. And then the attack was into Leytonstone. Ashfield, Oakdale and Twickenham Road all got hit. And then in this area, just not far from here, then Leytonstone started really coming under attack. The first bomb dropped was an incendiary on the railway tracks between Norman Road and Grove Green Road. Didn't do any damage. The next 2 bombs fell on a church that was just over there on Lincoln Street on St Augustine's Church. 2 incendiary bombs fell, and 1 incendiary bomb alone would burn at 5,000 degrees Celsius. The church was burning at 10,000 degrees Celsius. And the local fire station, Leytonstone, sent out fire engines, horse-drawn, and by the time they arrived, the church was gone. It was in ashes. And then the next bomb fell was an incendiary, and it fell on Mayville Road and set light to a kitchen. Didn't really do much damage. But here on Southwell Grove, and you can see the houses behind me from 69 to 53, a 100 kilogram bomb fell on 63 just over the road there. 63 and 65 were gone, incinerated, and a Mr. Osborne that lived at 63 died on impact. And then in this road alone, 132 houses suffered bomb damage. And they said that caught in the midst of this raid and was living somewhere in this area was a young Alfred Hitchcock. He had come home in the midst of the raid. He saw his mother praying under the table, and Alfred Hitchcock could see the night sky exploding with bombs trying to bring down the Zeppelin. By the time Wenck had finished bombing round here, he moved north of Montague Road, and eventually he was putting incendiary bombs onto the duck pond on Wanstead Flats. The whole episode lasted 11 minutes. Wenck had dropped 107 bombs. 500 houses were bombed and damaged. 10 people were dead, 48 injured, and over £30,000 worth of damage was done. But this is where the most damage was done. And if you look at behind me here, that all the houses on this street are late 19th century, but from 69 to 53, the houses were put up in the 40s and 50s. So this is the reason why these houses don't look the same as the rest of the street. It's because of what happened here on August the 17th, 1915. The Wenck raid that happened that night. And people have asked me, did Wenck survive the war? Well, next year he was flying another Zeppelin raid over the North Sea, and his Zeppelin got caught in an electrical storm and got hit by lightning. So Wenck didn't survive the war. But and Alfred Hitchcock did survive the raid that night and did survive the war. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Lewis Presents. It was entitled Zeppelin Raid 1915. Thanks for watching.